When it comes to homages, most brands take the obvious route. They go for the watches that everyone knows. Icons or hype pieces like the Rolex Submariner, the Tudor Black Bay, IWC Engineer. You get the idea. But a few weeks ago, a brand came out of seemingly nowhere and did something completely different. Instead of homaging a Rolex or Tudor, they decided to dedicate their entire existence to homaging a brand that's a bit more enthusiast focused instead. Sinn. And they didn't just homage a single model, they practically homaged Zinn's entire catalog. The 556, the 104, the EZM, even the U50. It's all there. Honestly, I've never seen anything like it. They even managed to squeeze in features like an anti magnetic protection and scratch resistant coating, all for $270. To put that into context, Zinn's new quick adjust clasp alone costs about the same amount. This all sounds too good to be true, right? Well, I had to get one in to try out myself. Now, it didn't get off to a good start. The watch I actually ordered was the Citadel UTC, but what showed up instead was the Wraith UTC. It seems I'm not alone in this either. Other customers have reported similar mix ups. But here's where it gets interesting. Instead of brushing it off, they actually went out of their way to make things right. They reached out via email or Reddit, resent the correct watches, and in my case, when I told them I wanted to keep this watch for the review anyway, they refunded me without me even asking. I mean, that's the kind of customer service you expect from top level micro brands like Zelos, not from a Chinese brand that seemingly popped out of nowhere. Non existent customer service with Chinese brands is a huge pain point for many people. So it's good to see that Engelman is treating this seriously right from the start. Onto the watch itself. The case and bracelet have a bead blasted finish, which nails that Zinn inspired tool watch aesthetic. On the wrist, it feels like a tank. The dimensions are very variable 40mm diameter, 48mm lug to lug, and you also get 200 meters of water resistance. But at 14 millimeters thick, this is one of the chunkiest watches I've worn. Part of that thickness is because of the movement they use, but the other reason is that anti magnetic protection. Engelman rates it at roughly 1000 Gauss. That's the same level of anti magnetism you get on a Zinn. I don't have any equipment to test that properly, but I did stick a magnet on the watch and it didn't cause any issues with the movement. I know that's not the most scientific method, but it's something. Then there's the hardness coating. Engelman claims to have 900 to 1000 HV on the Vickers scale. I decided to sacrifice a bracelet link and combat scratching it with a bracelet link from another watch, and well, I can say that that coating really works. The bezel is a 120 click unidirectional with a brushed ceramic inset. The Lume markings are crisp, the grip is great, and there's absolutely zero backplay. But the action itself, well, it's not exactly satisfying. The bezel action is firm and snappy, but if you're someone who likes to use the bezel as a fidget spinner, I don't think the action here is going to scratch that itch. Moving on to the dial, it has a matte black finish and all the elements are printed. You get numerals at 12, 3, 6, and 9, plus a 24-hour inner UTC ring. The proportions of the markers and handset are spot on. It's a busy dial, but it feels clean and legible at the same time. No marks to Engelman for the design, but I have to give props to them for the execution. I love the subtle GMT hand too. It almost disappears most of the time and it's only there when you really need it. Now, depending on the model, you either get a sterile dial or one with the brand name. Normally, I'm not a fan of sterile dials because it always feels like something is missing, but here it kind of works. The dial is already busy, so you don't really notice that missing brand name. My Sinn 556 has some of the best AR coating I've ever seen. The crystal just disappears and you feel like you can almost touch the dial. Surprisingly, this watch comes close. It's a flat sapphire with clear AR and the clarity is excellent. And then there's the Lume. Hands down, this is some of the brightest Lume I've seen on a watch in this price range. And It's even more surprising because it's just painted and not applied. Engelmaan says it uses their custom hyperglow mix and it's ridiculously strong. It easily outshines my Sinn 556 and even the applied Lume markers on my Seiko 62 mask. And both of those watches cost more than $1,000. Oh, and the date wheel? Well, that's Lume too, so that was a nice surprise. Powering this watch is the Seiko NH34 GMT movement. It's a collar GMT, so you can track a second time zone with that GMT hand. It's a good workhorse movement, but it's also a thick boy. And that's why you've got that thick case and the deep rehaut. Would a slimmer GMT movement be nice? Absolutely. But I think at this price point, they didn't really have many options. The H-Link bracelet tapers from 20mm to 18mm. There's a slight bit of play between the links, but it doesn't feel cheap, and there are no hot spots on the bracelet either. You get quick release spring bars, which is something even Sinn doesn't include, and you also get some clever anti-loosening screws that won't back out. The clasp has on-the-fly micro adjustment, which is super handy when your wrist swells throughout the day. The bracelet doesn't feel as high quality as Zinn's H-Link, but then again, I wasn't expecting that anyway. For the price though, it's a really good bracelet. If you couldn't already tell by now, I'm honestly blown away by this release. This watch is packed with features that you wouldn't expect to see for $270. You're getting hardened steel, anti-magnetic protection, excellent lume, crystal, and great build quality all around. If you've wanted to get a taste of Zinn's design and technology for a fraction of the price, well, now you can. And the fact that they've backed it up with excellent customer service that's better than most established brands, well, that's a huge plus point in my book. Yes, they are making clomages instead of homages, and I'm honestly not sure about their approach to copying Zinn's entire catalog. But they've clearly identified a gap in the market and they just went all in. The people behind this brand clearly know what they're doing. If they iron out their warehousing issues and slim down some of their future models, I honestly wouldn't have anything else to complain about. And that's kind of shocking for a new brand that's just released their first batch of watches. But what do you think? Would you wear a Sinn homage like this, or does their whole approach feel like a step too far? And do you think this is gonna change the homage watch industry by pushing other brands to step up their game? Let me know in the comments. If you prefer a scratch resistant tool watch that's less of a direct homage, check out this video over here. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.